This is the Pizza Guy. Join the pizza party. Check it out. Today we're going to be talking about heavy versus light ingredients. Are you overloading your pizzas? Yeah, I know I am. So anyway, here are the normal, or here's the, what do I call them? The usual suspects, right? So these are the things that I usually use to season my beef or my pizzas or my sauces, etc. And in this case, I've added some canned mushrooms just because I didn't go to the store and buy a container of fresh mushrooms. So here is, I think it's probably half pork and half beef ground meat with those canned mushrooms in there and all of those seasonings. And then I bought a pizza crust mix. I call it pizza powder because I think it has baking powder in it, or maybe I think it has baking powder instead of yeast that gives it any kind of a rise. It's an okay thing because if you want to have material around so you can just bang out a pizza in an hour, oh, I want pizza. Okay, bam. You make the dough. You let it sit for a while. You put it together. You cook it, and you're eating pizza. If you want it, you want it. And I don't want to order anything from restaurants because, the whole worldwide lockdown taught me a lot of things, and I just don't do it. So anyway, there's a bunch of cheese that I started bagging myself. I'm buying blocks of cheese and grating it, and bagging it myself, putting it in the fridge to always have that on hand. Beats the heck out of having the long-term preservative cellulose coated sawdust. It's not sawdust, it's potassium. But, everybody wants to get away from the bag cheese. Just get away from the bag cheese, dude. Buy blocks of cheese and shred it yourself. Put it in the Ziploc, put it in your bottom drawer. It'll keep for a very long time. So anyway, here's the pizza powder mix after I did all the things. They said, add this much water, add this much oil, and, it looks pretty dry and gross. And then I put a towel over the top and I let it, you know, absorb some moisture or expand the moisture that's in it or whatever, the moisture that I gave it. And then I eventually shaped it into these two almost softball, somewhere between a hard ball and a softball. Anyway, you see the orange chunks in there? That's just because I had leftover chunks of cheese on after I grated the cheese. So I threw it into the dough mix. Big deal. Sue me. Anyway, here I'm going to fill these two 8-inch or 9-inch, actually they're 9-inch pizza pans that I usually put an 8-inch pizza on. So here I am rolling out one of the pieces of dough and trying to get it to stretch out enough to cover this thing. And now, here we get into the heavy coverage on the left and light coverage on the right. Notice I have twice as much sauce on the left, and I have a very light coverage of sauce on the right. And I also removed that bay leaf, so don't freak out. Well, okay, I did it later. But there you go. I covered the whole thing with cheese, heavily on the left, and then I gave a light coating of cheese to the right. Then I gave a heavy coating of meat and mushrooms on the left, and a light coating, or a light layer of meat and mushrooms on the right. And then I added another layer of cheese on the top of one half of each pizza. Now, that's how it looks after they were cooked. I cut them up. I started gnawing on on the one on the left. Man, I took a bite. It was good. I loved it. Need more of it. But what I want to point out here is that the top two halves I cut and separated because I ate the bottom four pieces, like right on the spot, trying to figure out how am I going to score this. And then I realized, oh, wait, I really wasn't keeping track. I just started eating, man. So I left four pieces for my roommate and asked him, hey, what do you think? And really, look at this. See those top two half circles? The one at the top left is heavy cheese, heavy ingredients, heavy stuff. The one on the top right is light stuff and then cheese on top. There it is. Same exact layout. All right. So at the top left, heavy stuff covered with cheese. To the right of that is heavy stuff. At the bottom, middle, we have stuff. And then at the bottom far right, we have stuff with cheese. And here's how he scored things. 8-10, 6-10, 8-10, 6-10. So as I looked at his scores and I compared them to what I liked, I honestly think I liked the 610 because without that extra layer of cheese, or top, on the top, 610. I liked the one that he scored as a 610, but I would have given that my 810 because it was juicier. Because that extra layer of cheese just kind of like bound things. It wasn't bad. I mean, we're talking fractions. It could have even been, 710, 710. I mean, or 810, 810. I mean, I really liked both of these. At the bottom, somehow that extra layer of cheese on top, binding the other skimpy ingredients together, really made a difference for me. So, the whole point there is we're different. Not just me and my roommate, me and you and you and your kids, you and your husband, you and your wife, you and your cousins, you and your nephews, aunts, uncles, and whoever the hell you share pizza with. It's different, dude. So anyway, I got the heavy pizza on the left, the light pizza on the right, and they were both fantastic. One of them had cheese on top of half. Well, actually, they both had cheese on top of half, and they were both freaking bomb delicious. So there you go. What am I doing now? Oh, it's me. It's Troy from troysweb.com. And I am the pizza guy DIY, but I have a pizza button because it's the same thing as buy me a coffee. But look, I'm so freaking hyper. You don't want to listen to me when I'm on 4 cups of coffee, do you? No. So buy me a beer, slow me down. Buy me a pizza. Really, I just want meat and cheese, dude. I bought a Paisano recently, and that's coming up soon. So stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe, like, and comment, and all the other things. And got a whole lot more content in the pipeline. And make sure you subscribe, like, share this with people. If you click the share button, like 90% of people don't even have a clue what that means. Share. Okay, you click share, it's a little triangle button. That's a paper airplane, dude. You throw it out your bedroom window, and people on Facebook 1,000 miles away from you magically receive the link in their Facebook or text message or phone or did I say Facebook? Twitter, Instagram, blah 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 blah. I don't use any of those other services so much, except I text motorcycle videos to my buddies because we're a bunch of moto heads, lug nuts. And leave a positive comment. Thanks. Bye.